Those are monsters. Clean, pretty. You take the time and the care, do a little bit of predictive sawing, turn out some good stuff. Welcome to Hobby Hardwood, Alabama, a mom and pop operation that produces some of the finest grade hardwood lumber in the country. So how about I just shut up and how about we start letting the sawmill do the talking? I didn't notice that birds had just crapped on my doorstep. So we've got to have a technical timeout while I clean up the bird poo. So here's my first cut. It'll be deep on this side, and it's going to taper up on the other side. And I'll show you how much I was able to get back in there. Two boards. This one has an absolute minimum for me 6 inches width. Base grade lumber by the NHLA requires a minimum of 6 inch width. So that's about the smallest I could cut on this side. This space is wider. You can see I'm 2 boards down. I'm still way off center, so that's good. I'm 2 boards down and I'm right at the edge of my defect. Couldn't be any better right there, so I got lucky. And I see where this defect is going all the way to there. This defect is going all the way to there. I don't know how far this crack goes up in the log. So I'm probably gonna take one more cut and I'll look and see what this face looks like. Then I'm gonna make a decision from there. Here's what I'm looking at now. This is the crack. Let's see how far this goes. Well, it obviously goes here, 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 goes to there. Kind of peters out around here. This one goes, but it goes to about the same spot. This is about the best I could do here. There's no boards left here, nothing left in this one. I may could get one more board there, but since it runs out right there, I'm not gonna get it. So let's look at this beastie. Notice how I've got a big ugly hump here again. This is the bad part of this log. Let me walk around. But anyway, this is definitely a defect. I don't want this in the log. You can see how fast it tapers down. This is the ugly side of the log. That's the good side of the log. I'm gonna try to cut that side and get my 6 inch FAS face of hardwood and cut as much of this garbage off as I can. I did the exact same thing to the opposite face. Was able to get a good cut and take this much off. Remember, the bell was on this direction. Because of the way I had everything lined up, I was able to take the wide part of the fork with the defect on the stem direction. So I was able to cut a thin slice, and then again take out the defect without an undue loss of wood. Now let's look at what we got here. So I have a good clean face. I don't have any defects. That feels solid. This will make a good board. Very little sapwood. I'll be able to edge that off. We're good here. We've taken this off. And then I'll start popping boards off here. Try to get that side cleaned up. It should bring this into here. And then I'll have almost an edged cant. So you can see this is a whole lot more balanced right here. So if I can take some of these off, I can get good boards. Go into pattern mode, 1 1/8. Click down, that's my first face. Still almost 15 inches. So what do we got now? Let's take a look. Reasonably well centered. I'm on the long axis. These are 15-inch wide boards. There's basically no sapwood on these boards. There'll be a little sapwood on that. Remember, on this side over here, but look at how it's going to end up. If I take a board from here and here, I'll still get the edge, both of those, and I'll end up with a clean board from there to there and from there to there. Same thing here. There's a little sap there, a little bit that, so I'll be able to edge. If I take these off, I'll be able to edge that board. And then I got a clean cant at 14 inches, maybe 13.5 inches, a solid hardwood walnut with 0 defects. And you can very clearly see how this technique takes off the ugly. Except for me, I'm still here. All right, let's get this log sawn up. Getting tired of looking at it. All right, so this is kind of important. Remember where that split was? So it's right here, and it's contained in this one board. See how it doesn't penetrate? So to make this a high-grade board, all I have to do is cut it off to there. Right here, cut it off to there. Edge it, everything else is going to be perfect. So success on that. Let's get these two out of here. Look how big these guys are. Those are monsters. Clean, pretty. You take the time and the care, do a little bit of predictive sawing. Turn out some good stuff. All right, we're going to roll this thing over. We're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. I'll take 2 off of it. All we have now, as far as defects on this big cant, we have this one here, runs up to about there. This one here, remember the stress in this direction, it's trying to peel that way. So I want to take as many of these boards as I can, at least until I get to there. And where the edge of the stress crack is, which is right about there to there. So I'm going to just start sawing down, flip over, saw down, and then I'll come back to this orientation and see what I have left. So let's flip her up, cut her up. So now the defects are trapped in this one board on the edges. All the other boards are going to be perfect. 13-inch wide walnut, 0 sapwood. This brings our cant to 11.5. It's still quite wide, and the pith is now centered. So I'm going to pull these back. The defects on this board are trapped here and here, and they go one board deep. They do not make it to the next board. I am on the wrong side of the stress, in the wrong plane, so these may peel. So I'm going to look for it. How do you know when your sawmill's cutting straight? Because the corner looks like a laser beam. I couldn't help it. I had to put some water on it. Too many people like looking at water on walnut. Can't help it. I mean, that's gorgeous. 16-inch wide boards. I got about a half a dozen of those, plus the ones that are still got edge on the mill, plus a whole bunch of 11s, plus I'm going to have a mess of 6s. Almost no sapwood or 0 sapwood. Both faces. So you remember me talking about stress. This cant, the cant is showing stress in the correct direction. So remember I said the stress is typically perpendicular to the stress crack. So this is the bow plane, flat plane. This is the slip plane. Since these boards are stressed in the slip plane, as I saw them, you can see them move over sideways. That means that the stress is pulling them this way. That's fine, because it's better than them bowing upward like that. If it's on the wrong stress plane, they'll look like that. You can't sell bowed wood. Well, some people can, I don't. So this is perfect. I predicted the stress will be in this direction. It will be in this direction, in this plane. And sure enough it is, because sawing in the slip plane, slip as in S-L-I-P, slip on a wet floor, these boards in fact do move in that plane. So these are going to be perfectly flat. They may curve, they're not going to bow, which is fine because I happen to have an edger. I can take that curve out. I'm going to flip over, do the same on that side. Hopefully those will also show stress in the slip plane. And I may just through saw, bring it down here and cut those guys. I'm not sure yet. But the main thing is I know these guys are perfect. Now I got to see if I can get those guys perfect. Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed this. This was a technical walkthrough of how I like to saw walnut. I hope y'all learned something. Let me know if this is something y'all are interested in, or I can just get back to sawing wood and doing a little less talking. But I thought people might want to know what's going through my mind as I'm cutting this wood up. And hopefully, if you're sawing walnut, maybe some of this will have helped you. Anyway, y'all have a great day. This is Robert Milton, Hobby Hardwood, signing off. Thanks for visiting our sawmill. Click on the links above to see more of our videos.